Let's take a closer look at the features and functions within the tests of Q Interactive. In Part 1, I showed you around the home screen of the Assess app. In this video, I will dive deeper into navigating through a variety of items, giving you a better sense of how these tests are administered. I'll show items representative of functionality found throughout many of the tests within Q Interactive. For a deeper dive into specific subtests, look to the Support tab on Central for further resources. Lastly, as I will be showing live items, know that various parts of item cards will be blurred to preserve item security. Let's get started. We start on the home screen of the Assess app. I have two tests listed here, with this one here under the Not Started heading. Tapping the Battery tab brings me to a list of subtests in the battery, and the Start button is found here. This title card identifies the instrument and subtest from our battery, and swiping from right to left brings you into the test content. Before getting to that though, let's familiarize ourselves with the tools across the top of the screen. Let's work through these from left to right. The colorful Q button returns us to the home screen of Assess, where results are presented, you can edit your battery, navigate to another assessment session, or log out. To return back into the test, go to the Battery tab and hit the Resume or Start button. To show our next tool, however, I'm going to head into this In Progress battery and tap the Resume button here. Now let's look at the second icon, the sidebar. Navigate throughout your battery here, particularly if you need to review items or listen to audio recordings. I'll scroll up to the Matrix Reasoning subtest and tap it, and now see the list of items. Items in black were administered, items in gray weren't. Notice this red hand here. This means the Discontinue Rule was applied on this item, and you can see the raw scores listed as well. Let's look at another item. This time, I will go to item 10 from Similarities to review. The item is presented as follows. I can listen to my audio recording behind this button, and I am able to adjust scores, add notes, and add verbatim responses as needed. I also navigate to the subsequent or previous item through these arrows up here. Here's item 11, and here's item 9. This allows you to easily navigate through the battery, like flipping pages in a book. Hit the Done button to return to where you left off. Please remember that when you are reviewing items, if you adjust a score, it could affect the previously applied Discontinue Rule. The third icon contains subtest-specific information. Tapping this Information button, I see the starting point, reversal, and discontinue rules. And know that these are built into the system and will trigger alerts when the criteria for them has been met. Scrolling down, you'll find explanations for the contextual event buttons, so DK and NR, for example. This fourth icon will discontinue the subtest. It's grayed out now as I haven't started this subtest, so to start the test, swipe from right to left. I'll indicate the starting point by selecting item 5, then tap the OK button. Here's a live item with parts blurred out. Now you can see that white hand with the X in it. This Discontinue button generates this message, articulating the consequences of using this button. Essentially, use this button if the subtest was spoiled or if you are testing limits. Using this discontinue function may result in not getting a score for the subtest if the standard discontinue criteria hasn't been met. If you are testing limits, the score will be based upon where the standard discontinue rule was applied. Just to the right of the client name, you'll find this circle of dots. Tapping this will let you know the last time data backed up to the website. If you find a red X through this, that means that you're not connected to Wi-Fi, which is fine. You'll always be able to administer assessments on Q Interactive, even if you're offline. This pencil accesses our Notes feature. Notes are saved and uploaded to Central and best captured using a stylus. This question mark symbol contains versioning information. I will show item cards from the following subtests. From the WISC-5, Similarities and Figure Weights. An item from the GFTA-3, and from the Wyatt-3, Oral Expression. These items contain functionality that is representative across the library of tests. So as you become familiar with these interfaces, you'll become familiar with other subtests because of the similar design. Know that I have blurred out parts of these items to preserve item security. I've created this custom battery containing just those subtests. I will tap this test session on the left and the battery tab in the middle. This Start button starts the test, and I now see the title card for similarities. You navigate through the items by swiping from right to left. Here is the sample item for similarities, which will follow the same design found in other items that follow that question-answer type. The question is articulated at the top of the screen, with your scoring buttons shown in the middle. At the bottom of the card, I can write the verbatim response, and my follow-up prompts are found on screen. These contextual events shown here are described behind the information button at the top. I will mark this item as correct and write the verbatim response in numbers. Swiping on, I now see my starting point rule. I will select item 5 and tap OK. Again, my question is found at the top, and now I have point buttons with possible responses columned out accordingly. Leverage these lists in concert with the verbatim response field to fully document the answer. These responses with the Q adjacent to them would be appropriate ones to give the query prompt, and the Teaching button over here provides the verbatim prompt to give if needed. I will mark this as a 2-point response and swipe forward. On item 6, I see the same layout. Now, let's look at these two buttons in the corners. This speech bubble provides instructions for various scenarios which could occur during testing, so be sure to familiarize yourself with them as you navigate through your batteries. This flag button simply marks this item, making it easy to revisit later through the All To Do button found from the home screen. I will score this as a 2-point response and swipe forward. I know the discontinue rule is 3 consecutive scores of 0, so I will endeavor to accomplish that now. I will score these next 3 items as 0 and indicate the response was a DK for each. Note that the raw score for every item is displayed in the upper right. The discontinue rule now displays. The rule is stated, the items which are triggering the rule are listed, and you have some options at the bottom. I will select Discontinue, bringing me to the end of subtest card. Here I find my scaled score, raw score, and some additional details found behind these arrows. Swiping forward brings me to Figure Weights. This subtest leverages the second iPad, so we'll see how that functionality works as well. I will administer the sample item within Figure Weights now. I swipe forward. Tap the Show Picture button and the image will appear on the client iPad like this. Deliver the instructions as appropriate, and when the client touches their response, it appears on your iPad immediately. You are able to interact with the responses as well, so in the event that multiple responses are captured, you can deselect them by tapping and provide the proper response found behind the speech bubble. Here's the prompt if multiple responses are captured. Notice this 0-point button. This is leveraged when the response is a DK or a NR. Lastly, here is our timer. Tap the Start button to start the timer and Stop to stop it. With this subtest in particular, a prompt appears when 10 seconds remain on the timer. I'll stop the timer and swipe forward to the next item, where you must tap the Show Picture button for the image to appear. Images won't appear automatically. The remaining items and figure weights follow the same design. So I will now jump forward to show you how a GFTA item card looks. We're now looking at the GFTA cover card, and swiping forward gives us the initial instructions. Tapping the Show Picture button triggers the image to appear. Swiping forward shows us the interface. The target words are phonetically broken down here, and the various scoring scenarios are articulated behind the Information button. So look here for how substitutions, omissions, distortions, and additions are handled. For a substitution, tap the phoneme, then what was pronounced from the IPA keyboard on the right. For omissions, the hyphen is found at the bottom, adjacent to the delta symbol. It's worth reiterating, any subtest where the client is producing a response out loud, an audio recording can be captured. This red dot at the top indicates that the recording is happening. As you swipe from one item to the next, the recording for one item stops, and the subsequent one begins. The remaining items within the GFTA3 follow the same design. So let's look at the last item card, this time from the WYAT3. We're now looking at the oral word fluency section from oral expression in the WYAT3. Swiping from the cover card, we encounter our instructions and our timer. After giving the instruction, I'll tap the Start button on the timer and swipe forward. In this subtest, the client is to provide as many words as they can within the designated category within 60 seconds. As they give their responses, write them in at the bottom of the screen and they will appear up above. Switch from the left to the right as you capture their responses. Once 60 seconds has elapsed, you may have some responses yet to enter. You can score the responses individually by tapping. You can score a column by tapping this column header. Then simply press and drag them to their proper location. Once done, swipe forward to the next item. This concludes the subtest demonstrations. Tapping the colorful Q will return us to the home screen. Here are some closing thoughts. All data captured on Assess is synced up to Central automatically if you're online. If you are offline, tap the Sync button when you return to your office. Please view other videos on the Support tab in Central for a deeper look at other items in Q Interactive. You will also find manuals and user guides under the Support tab as well. Lastly, please view the Practice Assessments video to learn how to practice any test at any time without it affecting billing. Thank you.